Hi, welcome to Fairy Tales with Evelyn. But if you're younger than me, well, which I'm 6.5, well, almost 7, you can call me Miss Fairy if you want. Last time, this morning we read T for Two from Fancy Nancy, and that one was a pretty good one, you know. They were talking about how we need to fix friendship and how we should do that. We should always apologize, of course. But today we'll be reading The English Roses. It's about a group of girls who didn't like one girl. So let's start, okay? So here we are. So The English Roses. Oh, this is the end. I need to get to the front. Okay. Here, let me read you this prologue. Have you ever heard of the English Roses? Here is what they are not. A box of chocolates, a football team, flowers growing in the garden. What they are is... Okay, that was a long pause. Oh, here. What they are is four little girls named Nicole, Amy, Charlotte, and Grace. Okay, there they are. 4 girls. Here are the 4 girls. Hey, what happened to their noses? I guess they didn't draw them on. Here's some things you should know about them. They go to the same school and live in the same neighborhood. They play the same games, read the same books, and like the same boys. They have picnics in the summer and ice skating parties in the winter. They're practically glued to each other at the hip. Most of all, they love to dance. They can do the Hoo-Baloo, the Monkey, Night Fever, Hip Hop Bus Stop, Watusi, Techno Foxtrot, the Tickety-Boo. So those are all the dances they probably came up with or know how to do. It all sounds so perfectly fun and nice, and in many ways it was. There was one problem. They were all a bit jealous of another girl in the neighborhood. Her name was Bina, and there are some things you should know about her. She was very, very beautiful. She had long, silky hair and skin like milk and honey. She was an excellent student and very good at sports. She was always kind to people. She was special. But she was sad because even though she was the most beautiful girl anyone had, she was also very lonely. She had no friends, and anywhere she went, she was alone. So there's Vienna sitting down alone. You know, you're probably wondering, what's the big deal? If she was so nice, why didn't the English Roses invite her over for a cup of tea? Listen, I already told you why. Because they were a little jealous. Well, maybe more than a little. Have you ever been green with envy? Or felt like you were about to explode if you didn't get what somebody else had? If you say no, you're telling a big fat fib. I'm going to tell your mother. And I'm going to tell... Well, now stop interrupting me. Okay, you guys aren't really interrupting me, but this is just a book. It's a book. It's a story told by a narrator. So, at least. But they could not bring themselves to be nice to her, because everywhere they went, this is what they heard. What a beauty she is. She shines like a star. That Bina is something else. When Nicole and Amy and Charlotte, that should be a comma. There should be commas. heard people speak this way about Bina, they always felt like they were going to be sick. This is what they would say. How could someone be so perfect? No one ever tells that about us. It's not fair how so much. Let's pretend we don't see her when she walks by. Let's push her into the lake. And that is what they did. No, silly, not the lake part. And they're pretending not to see her part. And so time went on, and the English Roses continued to have fun with each other while Bina remained alone. One night, when all the girls were having a sleepover party at Nicole's house, her mother begged, "Do you mind if I come in and have a chat with all of you? Don't worry, Mom. We're going to go to bed soon. Just let's finish our pillow fight." "That's not why I came in here," her mother replied. "I want to talk to you about Bina. She lives down the street. She goes to school. She likes to do all the same things as you do, yet you never invite her or make any effort to be friendly with her." Oh, let's go page. Okay, no. The English Roses looked around the room. One the other. Amy was the first to speak. She thinks she's God-gifted creation just because she's beautiful. Yes, why should we invite her over? He gets enough attention already. Charlotte joined in. "It's not like we don't like her," said Nicole. It's just that she's probably stuck up. Pretty girls usually are." Nicole's mother thought this for a moment, and then she said, "I think your girls are being unfair. She looks like she could really use a friend, and you haven't even had a conversation with her. How do you know what kind of person she is? How would you like it if people decided whether it's going to be nice to you based on how you look?" The girls knew she had a point, but they didn't want to say it. Suddenly, they didn't feel like having a pillow fight. "Please think about what I said," Nicole's mother, and she stood up and kissed them all good night. When her mother was gone, Nicole turned out the light, and the girls lay awake in the dark for quite a while thinking about what Nicole's mother had said. No one said a word, and eventually they fell fast asleep. And while they were sleeping, they each had the same dream. This is the dream part. It's my favorite part of the book. Here's what they dreamed. All four of them were having a picnic in the park, complaining, as usual, about how beautiful Bina was and how she got too much attention, and how unfair it was for them. And suddenly, a fairy godmother appeared. She was short and plump and very jolly looking. Listen, when I'm telling you, don't listen when I'm telling. Listen, why am I telling you this? Don't you know what a fairy godmother looks like? Anyway, she landed right on top of Charlotte's sandwich. "Oh, excuse me, is that pumpernickel bread? Is there something there? I just love the smell of pumpernickel bread." I mean, pumpernickel. Okay, never mind. The girls sat and stared at her with their mouths open because they had never seen a fairy godmother before. The fairy mama said, clearing her throat. "Now where was I? Oh yes, I can't help but overhear your conversation. It sounds like you all are quite dissatisfied with who you are, which makes me very unhappy. And I would like you to offer you the opportunity to be someone else." "What do you mean?" said Charlotte, pulling her sandwich out from underneath the fairy godmother's bottom. "What I mean," replied the fairy, and please don't interrupt me, "is that if you all are so jealous of Bina, then that means you should become someone else. In fact, perhaps one of you would even like to trade places with Bina." "Oh, that's silly. How could we possibly be someone else?" interrupted Grace. picture. I'm sorry I wasn't doing all the pictures a lot. But this is the picture of the fairy godmother and the girls there sitting on the plate. Well, if you would just let me finish the fairy, when I sprinkle my magic dust all over you, you can be whoever you like to be. But first, you might want to fly over to Bina's house with me and spend some time there. Just make sure that her life is to your liking, or anyone else's for that matter. All the girls gulped and nodded, and finally Nicole said, but she'll see us looking through the window and she'll think we're burglars or something. Yes, she might call the police, added Amy. Oh, nonsense, scoffed the fairy, nibbling at Charlotte's chocolate chip cookie. When I sprinkle you with magic fairy dust, you'll be invisible, and you can go wherever you want to go, and no one will ever see you. The girls just sat there speechless, which didn't happen very often, I can assure you. Well, don't just sit there stuffing your faces, said the fairy, stuffing her face. My time is very valuable. The girls leaned forward and whispered quietly for a moment. They decided that even though the fairies took their cookie without asking, she seemed very heartless, and anyway, they wouldn't turn down the chance of spying on being without her knowing they were there. Do you think that would be nice? I don't think so. So they asked to be sprinkled with fairy dust, and they flew off to Peanut's house. Suddenly, they found themselves sitting around Peanut's kitchen table, and there on her hands and knees was Peanut. Scrubbing the floor, sweat was dripping from her forehead, and she looked very tired. All at once, her father came in the room and said, "It's getting late, Bina. When you finish scrubbing the floor, I think you should start cooking dinner. I'm going outside to fix the car." Bina smiled and said, "Okay, Papa." And then she was gone. So there's a picture of the girls there, and there's her one doll, and then there's Bina, and there's her dad. There's a little chandelier here. There's dishes. Bina proceeded to do a multitude of tasks. When she finished cleaning the floor, she peeled potatoes, she chopped onions, she set the table, she scaled the fish, she washed, and ironed the clothes, and finally, she emptied the trash. The English version couldn't believe their eyes. Never seen a girl work so hard in their lives. "She reminds me of Cinderella," said Amy. "She looks like she hasn't combed her hair in a week." Remarked Charlotte. "Where's her mother?" said Nicole. "She doesn't have a mother," replied the fairy godmother. "She lives alone with her father, and he works all day. So when she comes home from school, she has to clean the house and wash the clothes and cook dinner." "You mean she does it all by herself?" asked Grace. "Yes, you ninnies," answered the fairies. "I guess that she lives alone with her father." "Well, what happened to her mother?" said Nicole. "She died a very long time ago." "Poor thing," sighed the fairy. "And as you know, Bina has no friends, so she spends all her time on her own." "Well, come on along, then, girls. Would you like to see what her bedroom looks like?" English roses all stood up, and they felt bad about leaving Bina behind all by herself with so much work. "Oh, don't dawdle, ladies. I've got places to go and people to meet," said the fairy impatiently. So off they went to see if Bina's room was to their liking. There's a picture of them going up. Oh, most of them are barefoot. Two of them have shoes on. They were not prepared for what they saw. A simple room with a single bed, a chest of drawers, a shelf full of books, and of course, one doll. Can you believe it? Well, you'd better, because I'm telling you. There was one picture in a frame on the bedside table. All the girls gathered around to see who was in the picture. It was a beautiful photograph of Bina's mother. Her Nicole's eyes began to fill with tears. I feel so bad, she said. It must be awful not to have a mother. She must feel terribly lonely, said Charlotte. And we haven't been very nice to her. Well, what do you say? Interrupted the fairy godmother. Anyone want to trade places? There was a very, very long pause. The English roses looked at one another. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. I think we've made a terrible mistake, said Grace. I can't imagine living without my mom. I don't want to do so many chores, said Amy. And I don't know the first thing about cooking. Well, is there anyone else you'd like to be? Perhaps in another city, or even another country. Another neighborhood, another city, or another country. I'm sure I could arrange it for you. Please, just let us go home to our own cozy beds and our family, whom we love, begged Nicole. Yes, we want to go home, cried the rest of the girls. Suit yourself, said the fairy, but in the future, you might think twice before grumbling that someone else has a better life than you. As I said before, I'm a very busy woman. In a blink of an eye, the English roses were back in bed, fast asleep. When the morning came, the girls awoke, relieved to find that they were still themselves. They told one another about their dream, and they promised each other that from that day on, they'd be kinder to Bina and stop complaining about their own lives. They invited Bina to a tea party, and then they started walking to school with her. And not long after that, they were doing homework together. Bina even taught them how to make an apple pie. And soon they found out that she was very likable indeed. They grew to love her like a sister, and often went to her house to help with chores. So they were having a tea party, and Bina. Time went by, and soon everywhere the English roses went, Bina went with them. And you're not going to believe this, but people in the neighborhood started talking about them. And this is what they did. Oh, and this is what they said. Those English roses are very special. They're beautiful girls. They'll grow up to be incredible women someday. And you know what they did? If you don't believe me, go out and find out for yourself. I didn't make this up. Mom, can you look up the English roses?
Sure.
Okay. So I think this book is about, what if there's someone who's very popular in school and you're very jealous of them, but what if they have a very bad home or a very bad life? So if you're very jealous of them, just don't gamble on about your life being worse than them, because maybe it's not worse than them. Maybe they have to do chores, maybe they have to do dishes, maybe they have to do the food. So don't judge a book by its cover. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't judge the back of a book by its back of the book. Don't judge a book by the back of its book. So thank you so much for reading the English Roses with me. Bye. Keep watching and keep reading.